In this sponsored tutorial, I'm going to show you an app called Sellbery. It allows you to take your e-commerce store, say you have an e-commerce store on WooCommerce or your client does, and take those products and inventory and export those to other platforms and sell them there as well. Big examples that you'll find in this tutorial are Etsy, Shopify, Amazon, Walmart, Google Shopping, and there's 15 in total that you can export all your products and inventory to. And when you're selling on those platforms, your inventory goes down, your collective inventory amongst all of them. And it's all automated. So you manage your store in your one e-commerce platform, it exports all the data onto the other platforms, and the inventory is managed to make sure you don't oversell your product. When you add new products, they're sent over there. You can define which products are sent to different platforms, and a lot of other cool stuff that you can do. I'm going to show you all about it in this tutorial. We're getting started right now. Hey, what's up? My name is Bjorn. Welcome to the WP Learning Lab YouTube channel. If you like WordPress and tips and tricks getting better at it, make sure you click subscribe, then the bell notification icon so you don't miss any videos we publish, and check out the Facebook group linked to in the description down below where we help each other with WordPress and get better at WordPress. And with that out of the way, let's check out this tutorial. I'll see you there. Sellbery is a solution that helps you manage your e-commerce listings across multiple platforms. Most of us and most of our clients probably have one selling platform. It might be Shopify, might be WooCommerce, might be Magento, it might be Amazon, but we likely only have one unless we're big time. And then we have multiple because it takes so much more effort to manage multiple. That's the problem that Sellbery tries to solve. It makes managing multiple selling platforms much, much easier. So if we scroll right to the bottom of their homepage, you can get here through the link in the description or just go to this URL right here. And we see all the channels that they have available. So if you have a WooCommerce store and you have all your listings in your WooCommerce store or your client does, you can then automatically export those listings to all of the other platforms and start selling there lickety-split. And you might think, oh, that's nice, but what about inventory? Well, Sellbery has you covered. It allows you to manage the inventory. So if you're exporting, say you have 100 boxes of tea you want to sell, and you export from WooCommerce to 5 of these different platforms. Well, each platform talks to the other one. So when an order comes in, the system knows an order came in and knows that now there are 99 boxes of tea left, and every other platform knows that as well. So as your inventory goes down, all the platforms know how much inventory there is, and they know when to stop selling it so you don't oversell it, so you're not selling the tea when you have no more inventory. And on the homepage, it talks about that right up here, order sync and inventory control. And using their product feed management, you can automate pretty much all of your listing management, all the different platforms. You just have to manage one. Obviously, you have to have one that you're managing. So if you are using WooCommerce on a WordPress site, you manage that one. But then Sellbery takes care of automating all the others and making sure they're all synced, making sure there's inventory control, making sure you're not overselling, and it just makes your life a whole lot easier. As far as pricing goes, I mean, it sounds like this is a pretty expensive product, but it's actually not. It's surprisingly, on the pricing page, so if you have 100 SKU, which is essentially 100 different products or 100 different variations of a single product, you can start working with Sellbery for only €19 per month. And you get all of those channels that we saw on this page over here. You get all of these for that $19 and unlimited orders. And there's a couple competitors out there. There's GoDataFeed, and they have a good service as well, but they're much more expensive. You can have only one import per day, whereas with Sellbery you can have unlimited. And you only get one shopping feed, which means you can integrate with one platform. That's for $29 a month. If you want 3 platforms, $99. 6 platforms, $199 per month. And here we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 for $19 a month, or €19 a month. So GoDataFeed is a good platform, but they're much more expensive. Also, there's no order syncing. For the lower levels, you have to be at the $200 a month and then $99 per marketplace. So order syncing really ramps up the cost, and Sellbery is much more affordable. And Sellbery is another one. For this one, the pricing is based on the number of orders. So if you have up to 100 orders per month, it's $49. And then it scales based on orders. And this one scales based on how many products you have that you're syncing. So the more products you have, obviously, the higher the price goes. But hopefully, the more products you have, the more you're selling. Hopefully. So all that to say, click on the link down below, click on the free trial button, and let's open a free trial account. You just fill in your name, your email, your password, another password, agree to the terms, start free trial. Or you can sign up with Google or Facebook. I already have a free trial account that I'm going to sign into right now so we can take a look at how the system actually works. Just going to drag over a new tab. So here is the dashboard when we're logged in. And here we have our first project where we're connecting WooCommerce and Shopify. Just going to close the other tabs so we're not cluttered. And really there isn't too much going on in the dashboard. It's very user-friendly in that it doesn't provide a huge boatload of options. You'll be spending most of your time in the Projects tab. All these are pretty self-explanatory except for maybe Audit Log. And Audit Log is just a list of all the things that have happened recently on your account. So to create a new project, all you do is click on Create New Project. And we click on the plus icon on the bottom left. So first we choose an import point. This is the place where you're actively managing your products and creating your products in your inventory. So in my case, I have WooCommerce installed. This is where my main store exists. And then if we choose an export point, click on the tab over here, it's all the same except for this one. Export point has Walmart beta and what else? Google Shopping. Google Shopping and Walmart beta exist on the export points. They do not exist on the import points. So those two are just in the export points. And the export point is where you're sending your data. So you're connecting your main store to other places to automate your inventory. So let's say you want to connect to Shopify, which is our example in this video. So now they're both in our workspace. We have to connect them. So we click and drag like so. Now they're connected. We still have to connect the individual apps using the APIs. So if we click on WooCommerce, double click on it, it shows us the instructions on where to find our WooCommerce information so that we can connect it with Sellbery. So if we pop into our WooCommerce website, I've just got this running on our demo website, wpphd.com. And if we go to products, I have one product in here, cool summer plain t-shirt. And this product, let's just check out the product really quick before we get into the data feed APIs. This product has a couple variations, just different colors and sizes. So we have one product with 6 variations, and we're going to be using that to import to different areas like Shopify, which you're going to see in this example. So to find our information for connecting our WooCommerce account, we have to go to WooCommerce, then Settings, then API. So let's go to WooCommerce, Settings, and the API information is under the Advanced tab. So click on Advanced, use the REST API, not the legacy, the REST. Click on Add Key, give it a name, give it a user, and give it read and write permission. So let's just call this Sellbery 2, generate API key. And then we have a consumer key and a consumer secret. So just copy the consumer key. Let's go back into here. If you have existing connections, you can just click on these and that will turn those on. Or you can create a new one by clicking on New Connection, enter our URL, enter the consumer key that we just copied, and then get the consumer secret. Copy that, paste that in there, click on Connect. And now we're going to hopefully successfully connect. Now we are connected and we can sync our products. To download products, you can specify which products you want to download. So maybe you don't want to sell all products on other platforms. Maybe you do, but you can specify which ones you want. So you can choose this all products drop down and you can keep that as all products or choose a category ID. So if you assign a category to the products you want to sell on other platforms, you can just enter that ID here. To find the categories, head over to Products, go to Categories, and you can create a new category just for Sellbery if you wanted to. Just add a name, a URL, click on Add Category. That's the minimum you need, just the name and the URL slug, then Add Category, and then I'll add it over here. Click on Edit, and in the URL up here, you'll see this tag underscore ID equals 21. That is the ID of this category. And you come back here, enter the category ID, and click on Save. You also choose to process products automatically. I don't recommend you do that immediately. I recommend you set it up, you test things, and then if everything is working as it should, then you have it do automatically. Otherwise, you can cause a lot of problems for yourself by importing and exporting when things aren't working properly. So make sure you run through things first, make sure it works, then make it automatic. So now we have our WooCommerce connected to a specific category, category number 21, which is t-shirts. And that is the category, if you go back to all products, our listing, that is the category that this t-shirt is found in right here. Now, if we go back, actually, there's one more thing I have to tell you. If we go to WooCommerce, which is now connected, if we want to, let's just disconnect this one. If we go to new connection, if it doesn't work for some reason, click on change auth mode. And then it has all the same fields except for the port. So down here it says if you have HTTPS, use port 443. If you have HTTP, use port 80. So you may have to go via the change auth to connect. You may have to change some of these parameters, although I haven't needed to. But just so you know, if you have trouble connecting, it could be an issue with these settings. Let's just go back and let's connect Shopify. That's where we're going to send our information to. And here again, it has an explanation of where to find the information, including a video. We have an earlier version we can connect to or make a new connection. Click on new connection, because that's likely where you are. You need to have a shop name, an API key, and a password. So to get these credentials, we obviously have to have a Shopify account, and we need to sign into that Shopify account. So Sellbery was kind enough to let me use their Shopify account for this demo because I don't have an active one right now. And to get the data that we need to have the store name, API key, and the password. So the store name, we find if we go to settings and then general, we see the store name listed right here. So we copy this. I'm going to paste that in here. Then we're going to add a dot and then my Shopify.com. And then to get the API key, head over to Shopify again, click on apps, then click on manage private apps, then click on create a new private app, enter a name for the app. So I'm going to call this Sellbery Bjorn. I'm going to give an email, Bjorn at, this one right here. I'm going to change the access for the admin API to read and write for all of these. And then check on the storefront API allowed, keep all of these checked, and then click on save. And then click on I understand. And now we have a new API key successfully created. You can see it here. We can copy this, copy the API key. And these are all blurred out because having the API key is a security risk. If it's out on the internet, everybody knows what it is. And for the password, also can't see that one. Click on the clipboard here to copy it, paste it in here, and then click on connect. And we're now connected. On the bottom right here, it says connected. So we are ready to rock and roll. We now have WooCommerce connected. We now have Shopify connected. I like to have them a little staggered so you can see them better. But now that we have them connected, we can go ahead and download our data from WooCommerce into Sellbery, and then upload our data from Sellbery to Shopify. So first things first, we saw the product in WooCommerce already, the t-shirt. Let's check in Shopify to see what we have there. They probably have some kind of products here already, Sellbery, because they're just testing and stuff like that. There isn't one called t-shirt, so should be okay, right? What's it called in WooCommerce? Cool Summer Plain t-shirt. It should come over with that name and the variations and be added to this list of products here. So there's one last thing we have to do before we can start downloading, importing products, and that is mapping. If you're not familiar with mapping, it basically means if you're transferring data from one platform to another and they have different interfaces, we need to tell the system what information in platform 1 is the information in platform 2. So WooCommerce might call it product name and Shopify might call it product title. And the system doesn't necessarily know which is which on its own, so we have to tell it. And we do that by mapping. So to map the products and product fields, click on Shopify in this example, or whatever place you're exporting to, and then click on mapping in the little dialog box down here. Click on the plus icon, add a new rule, choose your source. This will list all the connected sources that you have. I'm going to click on auto mapping to see how well that works. So it's created 3 rules. Click on check rules, and it shows the name. Like I said earlier, this is funny. For WooCommerce, it says name, and for Shopify, it says title, which, unbeknownst to me, that's actually how it is. I was saying that earlier just randomly. Anyway, name is title, and that field is required. The SKU is required, so you can stay organized. The description of the product is the body HTML in Shopify. That's required. Images, if they're there, that's great. It's preferred, because sometimes you might have a product with no image. That product doesn't sell very much if it has no image, but it could happen. So it set this one to preferred, and if it has the SRC, which is short for source, which is the URL of the image in Shopify, it adds that. And it has all the information that is set field to field and not required for all the others. So we have all those rules set up. And now we should be ready to rock and roll for connecting or importing, exporting from WooCommerce to Shopify. So let's get back to our workspace. We have it all connected. All right, so now we can go ahead, click on our source, which in this case is WooCommerce. Click on the download button, and it's going to download all the products that you have set to download. Earlier we set a category, so it only downloads the products in a certain category. If you have all products selected, it'll download all products. So depending how many you have, this might take quite a while. I'm going to click on download. There's only 6 products, 1 product and 6 variations on the site, so this should not take very long. And in fact, it's done already. Successfully downloaded 6 products. Now I click on push, and that prepares it for transferring out to other platforms. Now click on Shopify, and this of course makes a lot more sense. Right now there's a bunch of steps involved for only going to one platform, which might seem kind of weird. But if you're going to all the platforms, there's 15 in total. If you're going out to all of those, it does make a lot of sense to be able to segment these steps and only do them for certain platforms and not others. Or you could even have multiple of the WooCommerce. So you could have WooCommerce category t-shirts goes to Shopify, and then WooCommerce, the category for remote control cars, goes to Google Shopping. So you can manage it like that as well. You don't have to have every item in every store, if that makes sense. Either way, I digress. Click on Shopify, click on upload. Upload started. And now we're going to see if something breaks, which this is why we're not doing it automated at first, because you want to test the process, make sure it all works, and then automate later. Upload finished. A report will be available shortly. That didn't take very long, just a minute or two. And before we go and see if the data actually got there, when there is a problem, like I mentioned earlier, if something goes wrong, go to the activity tab, and you can see everything that you've done recently in this specific workflow. Earlier we saw, or at the very beginning, we saw the audit log, which is the information for the entire account. And this activity in the project itself is just the activity in this project. So you can see where successes were, where failures were, and you can troubleshoot any problems that you might have run into. So let's go back to our scheme. Actually, we don't have to go back there. We can go back to our Shopify site and refresh, and we should be able, or should have our new t-shirt in here. So here we can see it brought over the t-shirt. Inventory said NA because I didn't set any inventory in WooCommerce. If I did, it would show inventory. And then that's where the automated syncing comes in very handy. So you want to do this testing, turn on the automated syncing to make sure all the inventory is managed. Otherwise, you might oversell, and that becomes a huge pain. And if you click on here, you can see the data on this listing. The title came over, the description came over, images came over. So everything is there. And that is how we connect WooCommerce to Shopify. And it's that simple. Imagine if you had, let's say you're on the $19 a month plan, 19 euro a month plan, and you have 100 different variations of products, and you have to do all that manually, just in one other platform. It's enough doing it just in WooCommerce, or just in one platform, whatever platform you use. But then imagine doing it in other platforms as well. You have to hire someone to do that, honestly, because there's not enough hours in the day. But with Sellbery, you can automate that, which makes it so much easier to be able to sell on tons of different platforms and meet your customers wherever they shop, and that makes it pretty fantastic. And as you saw in this tutorial, it's very user-friendly. The only thing that gets a little tricky is when you're trying to map the fields. And the automated mapping worked very well, probably because Sellbery's been around for a while. These platforms have been around for a while. They're known quantity. Their fields don't change that often. So unless you have super custom setups in your e-commerce platforms, the automated should work. But sometimes it may not, then you have to go with the manual route. But either way, that's probably the most difficult part in this setup. And once you have that all set up, it just stays there unless those platforms are updated. But once it's all set up, it's all automated and it's totally hands off. So like I said earlier, make sure you click the link in the description down below, start a free trial, and check out Sellbery. Check out if it's worth it for you to have Sellbery help you manage inventory across all these different platforms. And if you have an e-commerce site and you're selling any kind of volume, it doesn't take a lot of sales on other platforms to make up the 19 euro. And you're allowed to have 100 SKU on that 19 euro plan. Let's just go to the plans really quick. So 100 SKU if you pay monthly. It's even cheaper if you pay annually. $15-20 per month if you pay annually. But if you have 100 products that you push out to 14 different e-commerce platforms, you should be able to make up this €19 a month. Even if you have, let's say you have a store with 5,000 products, but you don't want to commit to, let's see, how much is it? €219 a month. Start on a lower plan, send out 100 SKU, 100 different products, make those sales. You'll see that your €19 are pretty quick to make up when you're on so many platforms. And then you can just keep ramping up until you have all your 5,000 in there and you're not out of pocket, so to speak. You are building up your Sellbery commitment as you're selling more stuff on other platforms, and then Sellbery pays for itself at that point. So either way, I'm a big fan of automating because time is short. Time is the most important thing we have. And so I've focused a lot on automating as much as I can in my own business. And Sellbery is definitely a great addition to anybody who wants to automate. So that's how it works. I hope this video helps you. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click subscribe and ring the bell. Check out the Facebook group in the description down below. And next up is clicking one of these videos that popped up on the right-hand side so you can get even better at WordPress. Until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.